Am I the asshole for ditching my friend and her toddler at a restaurant because they were late? My friend, Samantha, is a stay-at-home mom and has a 4-year-old daughter, Katie. Since her daughter's birth, she always insisted that I go to her place if I ever wanted to hang out. Even though she lives about 45 minutes away from me, I always did it in the beginning because I did value our friendship, and Katie was her first, so I could understand how she'd be stressed with a newborn. Recently, I started to put my foot down and wanted her to meet me halfway. I felt like her kid, she only has Katie, was old enough to handle being outside, and I was tired of driving just to hang at her house. We always picked a place halfway, so I felt like it was doable. During the last 3 hangouts, she was over 30 minutes late, and each time she claimed that she got mom privileges for being late because she had to wrangle her kid into the car and do other mom things I wouldn't understand, according to her. I'm childless. She asked to hang out this past weekend, and I told her that if she was late again, I'd leave. Lo and behold, the day came and she was late. After 30 minutes, I got up and left, but went to hang in the coffee shop across the street because I was curious just how late she'd be. She was over an hour late, and when she found out from the waitress that I left, she started to call and text me. She said that I was callous and selfish for making her drive 25 minutes away from home with a toddler only to leave, and that she only ever came out for my benefit. I told her that I hang out with multiple friends who bring their kids out with us, and they're never late, so it was pretty shitty to blame being late on Katie, who is a perfectly sweet girl. She's never been a problem during our outings. Samantha just kept pulling the "you're not a mom so you wouldn't get it" card. I heard later from a mutual friend that Samantha has been blasting me in their mommy group and said I was bullying her for putting her child first. I feel like her reaction wouldn't be so strong unless she was actually upset, so I'm starting to kind of feel like an awe. I mean, she's right that I don't get it, as I don't have children, but I still feel annoyed that she's late and feel justified for leaving. My time is precious too. I'm not sure whether or not I should reach out. Not the asshole, if she knows it's going to take 30 minutes extra, she leaves 30 minutes earlier. It's really not that hard. Dad here. Being occasionally late is understandable. I've literally had kids throwing up moments before we're supposed to get into the car, or picking up a coffee mug and pouring it on the rug, stuff like that. Some things you just can't avoid. Being consistently late just means she isn't planning well. It does not take 30 minutes to get a child into the car, so I'm guessing she isn't watching the clock and is blaming her lateness on her kid, which will be really bad once the kid picks up on it and starts thinking there is something wrong with herself because mommy keeps blaming her when talking to other people. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I'm a mother of 4. Guess what you can't use mom privileges for? School. Doctor's appointments. Dentist appointments. Parties. Flights. Guess what else you can't use mom privileges for? Being chronically late. Not the asshole, and I think you may need to put this friendship on hiatus for a while. It's possible that in a few years, she'll be able to act like a friend again, but right now she can't. That's okay. Not the asshole. I think it's fair to extend a little extra grace to parents who are traveling with young kids. Sometimes you're walking out the door and your kid decides it's a great time to take a giant shit. But this isn't that. She's just perpetually rude and late and using being a mom as an excuse, both to be late and to be a condescending asshole to you. She's a crappy friend. Am I the asshole for not waiting for my wife to come home from a trip? My wife was away on a girls' trip for 5 days. I took care of our young children, 7 and 2.5. I was happy for her to go and have fun and happy to be with the kids. We both travel and it's fine. That said, it's tiring of course, especially over a weekend, and I wake up early. My wife landed at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night. With delays and customs I had no idea when she was going to get home and neither did she. I was exhausted and fell asleep at 8. She was upset that I didn't wait up and told me she was hurt and I should have waited. Am I the asshole for not waiting up? Additional info. I was not supposed to pick her up. She wanted me to be up to be with her. Which is a lovely sentiment. Not the asshole. She's upset that you dozed off? That seems unreasonable. Nah. You were exhausted and fell asleep. Reasonable. She thought you'd be excited enough to see her that you'd have waited up. Reasonable. Remind each other that it was a big week for you both and that you love each other, and organize a date night. You're not the asshole. If you're anything like most of us when we're exhausted, you would not have been in your sharpest, best mood when she got home if you had forced yourself to stay awake. What good would that have done? There was time in the morning when you would be fully awake to catch up and talk. Not the asshole so you fell asleep. Big deal. Isn't enough that your wife was able to get away from the kids for a break? Instead of being mad, she should be happy to see you and grateful you were able to watch the kids. I read that as am I the asshole for not wanting my wife to come home from a trip. But having reread it. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for getting my girlfriend a gift basket full of things she avoided during pregnancy? I, am 26, became a dad a month ago. Hence, why I'm posting at 4 a.m. I can't sleep. I got my girlfriend, F24, who I was living with pregnant. Her parents never really approved of me after that. When I brought her home after the birth, her parents came with us. I paid a buddy of mine to buy a bunch of things she couldn't have while pregnant or avoided while pregnant and put them in a basket. Some notable items were sushi, an expensive bottle of her favorite wine and a Keurig machine. I know she misses having a glass every once in a while. She's been especially strong when I had my buddies over to watch sports and we had a few beers. Also, she loves her coffee and I couldn't tell you how she went to work for 8 months without it. So I felt bad and splurged. When her parents saw this gift they called me uneducated and said that the alcohol can get in the breast milk. I told them I did my research and they said that it is immature to gift alcohol to a woman who just gave birth. I may be overthinking this, but am I the asshole? Not the asshole. I think this is really sweet. The CDC says that there is no known harm associated with nursing mothers having a drink, which they clarify as one standard drink, not more, and your girlfriend doesn't even need to drink it right away. Most importantly, her parents need to realize she can make decisions about her own body and the two of you will be making parenting decisions. It's simply not up to them. Not the asshole. Nobody said she had to down the wine there and then. It was a very thoughtful gift. What did your girlfriend think? Not the asshole, and they are absolutely incorrect. Too recent research shows that it's safe and drinking a moderate amount is the same as drinking orange juice when it comes to breast milk safety. The actual concern when it comes to breastfeeding and drinking is safely handling the baby. That's the actual concern. Plus there is also apps like DrinkSafe specifically made for breastfeeding mums, but the whole no alcohol whatsoever while breastfeeding is absolutely medically and scientifically incorrect. As long as she can continue safe practices and handling of the baby or another adult is there, it's absolutely fine to have a few glasses of wine. Not the asshole. IDK how her parents saw the gift or why. But a bit of advice when dealing with in-law types. The less they know, the less they can use against you. Keep as much private as possible. I think you are very thoughtful and it also sounds like you are very present as a parent. I do have to say you didn't get your girlfriend pregnant. You are both adults who decided to have a child. Ignore the parents, you were so sweet to notice the intricacies of her condition. Am I the asshole for letting me in-laws have some of my special fudge and causing them to spend the weekend? My in-laws always tell stories about when they were young. How they went to Lollapalooza and Burning Man before it got all commercial. I like hearing their good old days stories. They are amusing. My favorite is how my father-in-law missed seeing Nirvana in some dive bar because he never heard of them. I make my own edibles and they are pretty strong. We don't have kids yet, so I'm okay just leaving them out with a warning sign for my wife. My edibles should carry a warning label, "Don't make any fucking plans for a while." My in-laws were over this weekend. They said they wanted to try my fudge. I said they were welcome but that they should try just a quarter of one of my fudge pieces. That is what my wife usually takes. It is enough to have a great night but still be able to function the next day. My in-laws decided they were old school cool and I was shining them on. They each took a full piece. That was Friday night. They didn't move from the couch until Saturday afternoon. They had plans that went sideways. I'm not sure how that's my fault. They literally took 4 times as much as I recommended. My wife is upset with me and so are my in-laws. They ended up staying until Sunday when they felt normal. I tried to explain that the cannabis I grow is stronger than whatever they are used to from the 90s, but I'm still in trouble. Not the asshole. 1. You had a warning label. 2. You told them to only try a quarter. 3. They are adults, they should know to control themselves. 4. Blaming someone else for their own mistakes is just shitty. Not the asshole. For anyone not keeping track, the 90s was 30 years ago. A lot has changed. Not your fault they were stubborn and ignorant. Not the asshole, and also lol. Maybe this is the path to a better in-law visit for me. You warned them and your wife also knew. Even if they thought they knew better and wanted more, they could have started with a smaller piece and had more rather than just having a full piece up front. If you told them how strong they were and they still ate as much as they did, not the asshole. That's how edibles work, you can't control their highs. Not the asshole. How in the world can anyone think you are the asshole here? You told them to try a quarter of your fudge pieces. They are adults and decided to each have a full piece. What were you supposed to do? Snatch it out of their hands? Argue with them over it? If you did either of those two, everyone would think you're the asshole for doing that. Do your wife and in-laws like making you the asshole or something?